Welcome back to another episode of the West 17 Sports TV Chit Chat. In case you don't know or you've been living under a rock or something, Chit Chat is a series that we'll be doing where we're kind of just, talking with members of the student body at different Delaware schools and maybe even all across the world if you want to be part of it. Kind of just ask them how their quarantine's been, some sports questions, and kind of just talk about issues around the world.
Today we have a very special guest with us, another very special guest, Ryan Tattershore, rising senior at Tower Hill. How are you doing, Ryan?
Pretty good. Great to be here on the Chit Chat.
Of course.
I've heard a lot about it.
I'm glad. How's your quarantine been?
It's been pretty good. Can't believe it's almost September.
Have you done anything fun?
Pretty fast. Not much. Haven't been doing that much stuff, but Xbox has been a heavy rotation. But yeah.
Speaking of Xbox, what's your go-to game?
I'd have to say Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six Siege. I think CJ Buchanan also said that.
Yep.
Very popular game. All right, so I know that you're very heavily involved with the environment, part of the environmental board at Tower Hill, and you are up to date with a lot of the news. So I was just wondering, with the coronavirus lately, the CO2 levels have actually dropped, especially in New York City, has dropped by 5 to 10%, and in China, it dropped by 25%. So I was getting the experts' take on this. Do you think that the coronavirus is actually helping the environment? Or do you think that the quarantine and people not using cars and stuff, do you think that's going to be a fluke and it's going to come back once society goes back to normal? Or do you think it's going to stay low?
I think in some ways it was beneficial, like you said, the CO2 dropped. But this is all a really temporary thing. Like even right now in the summer, as like the lockdowns are ending, it's going right back up to where it was and even higher than that. So I don't think we can really use this as an excuse to like stop striving to be better for the environment. So yeah, I think this isn't like a long-term solution, obviously, because it just coincidentally happened with the coronavirus. So yeah, I think we need to really focus on doing better, not like just as a side effect of a pandemic.
Yeah, so I don't want to make the show political or anything, but as you know, our president has been making some environmental initiative, however, in the wrong direction, I believe. And as of right now, there's a graph. Hopefully, if I did the editing right, you can see it right now. But there's about 100 bills and acts and kind of laws and environmental efforts that the president has been getting rid of. So you have been obviously keeping up to date with a lot of what's going on right now. You send me a lot of daily reminders, which I appreciate. And I was just wondering, if you were president, what would you do differently? Would you kind of sustain these? Would you make more acts, pass more bills? What do you think you would do?
Yeah, certainly. I think the opposite of what Trump is doing. He's kind of reversing a lot of acts that's been put in place, even like for 50 years. A lot of these acts have been around a long time, and we need to not just keep these acts in place, but we got to build off of them. But he's kind of doing the opposite. Like he's stripping down those acts. So yeah, I would kind of do the opposite of what he's doing. I saw this thing, I think it was yesterday, that he's planning to drill in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, which is like one of the only places in the entire country that's sort of untouched by man. So I think it's sort of a shame that he's kind of undermining these institutions that were set up, like even in the past like 50 years. So yeah, I would kind of do the opposite of what he's doing.
Are there any specific stuff or specificities that you would do, maybe like in terms of recycling or like other different laws? Or do you think just in general upholding the ones that have already been made is the right way to go?
Yeah, like I said, we need to uphold them, but then we also have to build off of them. I know Joe Biden had a climate plan. It was like $2 trillion or something for like clean energy, and that creates jobs and everything. So I think we should really be striving towards that. So yeah, I think clean energy is really important for the environment.
I have a question for you, Ryan.
Yeah.
At the rate that I guess America's going, kind of like we're not really caring about as much as we should about the environment. It's not really a hot topic at the rate that, like, I guess CO2 levels are rising, glaciers are melting. How many years into the future do you think it's got until like it becomes like an extremely pressing concern, as in like physically hurting society? Like 100 years, 200 years, like
Oh yeah,
years?
I think that's up for debate. I mean, I see articles about how like coastal cities such as like Miami and a lot of beach towns could be underwater as soon as like 2050. But then other people are saying like hundreds of years. So while it's not like exact the time frame of when this stuff could happen, we definitely know that like it will happen and it's going to if like changes are not made. So I think we shouldn't really focus on like the specifics of when, but rather just act now, like just to be safe. And a lot of stuff's already happening. Like this hurricane season, for example, it's been like super active and it's only August. So yeah, I think that a lot of it's already happening and we can see a lot of it happening. So I think we should really, the sooner the better to act on it.
Like in Delaware last year, here there just wasn't any snow if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Not a
very
single
surprising
I
this
don't think we
year.
got a single snow day all year.
That's kind of crazy. But I guess to kind of go off that, what are your opinion on, I guess, the evolution of different like fuel sources? Like everyone knows that oil, it's only a limited resource. It's not going to, it's eventually gonna, you know, run out. So what is your opinion on like electric turning to maybe solar, wind? Like what do you think about
Yeah, I
those?
think all those are because they're called renewable energy because they
Yeah.
don't run out unless like the sun goes out, which we would die anyway. But like oil, yeah, there's a limited supply in the earth and it will run out eventually. But I think before it runs out, we're gonna see the bigger effects of like carbon dioxide in the atmosphere because the whole reason why like burning oil is bad is because it releases CO2, and that is really driving force of global warming. But with renewable energy such as like solar panels and wind farms and stuff, that kind of thing, like it's zero emission, so it doesn't harm the environment. So I think that is the way to go in the
Yeah,
future.
and what's your opinion on, I guess, nuclear energy? I know it's kind of a controversial topic. Some people say it's extremely beneficial. Others people say that it's more like there's a lot of risk to it, like like Chernobyl. Like there's a lot of risk to that type of stuff. But what do you?
Yeah, I don't know much about nuclear power, but I do know that like it is definitely in like the grand scheme of things, it emits less than say coal and oil. But yeah, like you said, there are risks from it. So I think these risks are like figured out and like we develop safer methods maybe. Then
Radioactive waste definitely won't help our environment if it like
no,
gets into
it won't.
So speaking of waste, there's actually a stat which is that Coca-Cola produces 3 million tons of wastage per year, and 150 companies in total have announced that they make up about 20%, which is 1/5 of the total wastage. So as we know, like a lot of what's happening and like the climate change has been a result of big companies. And I was just wondering, do you think that the people, like the kids, the civilians, can do anything about it, or is it really just a battle that companies have to fight?
I mean, yeah, I know companies. I think it was like they contribute like 73% of like global greenhouse gas emissions, which is certainly a huge chunk. So yeah, they really need to step it up and change. But then also the people were the ones like consuming the companies. It's like if we don't consume, then they can't keep it running. So things like we can pick. I know there's some companies that are like they have like products or whatever. They're like they're green or like they advertise that they're greener than like other big companies. So I think going with those companies would like put pressure on the big corporations to sort of act in a more environmentally friendly way. So I think yeah, it's definitely up to the companies, but then it's also up to us because we're the ones like keeping them running.
Mm-hmm. How about turning off the water when you brush your teeth? You think that's going to make a big impact?
Yeah, saves a lot of water. It adds up.
Adds up every year.
Yeah.
like let's see. How about plastics? I know that's another kind of pressing concern with like a lot of environmentalists. What do you think about? Do you think that we should kind of grow from using like different plastic bags because they're for the most part non-biodegradable, or how do you think we should handle that situation? Because I've seen pictures of huge landfills of just plastic and it's like disgusting.
Yeah, definitely using alternatives such as like recyclable like paper bags and stuff is better. But then I also think we need to focus on just using less in general. It's like when you go to the supermarket, like you should always have like reusable bags that you have at your house that you can just bring back every time. So yeah, stuff like that, like changes on personal levels, like people might not think it makes a lot of an impact because it's just like you doing it. But like if everyone does it, then it would make a big impact.
Yeah.
What do you think about like a bag tax? So like you talked about the supermarket, like you go there and you have to pay $2 to get a plastic bag or something like that. I know in India they have stuff like that, which is why I got into the routine
And a
of
lot of
bringing my own bag.
places like banning them completely,
Yeah,
which is good, I guess.
definitely a thing that people should maybe incorporate.
Hmm.
Another thing is wooden spoons I saw, like I think made out of bamboo maybe. I have to fact check that, but I know that they've been replacing the plastic spoons in a lot of different places, especially this Thai place that I went to the other day. Got some nice wooden spoons.
Oh,
I forget. It was down in Rehoboth though.
good food though.
Good food.
So
Had that like nice like right spice level. Great food.
it's like the spice level where it's spicy enough where it's still spicy, but not spicy enough where you can still taste the flavor.
Yes.
That's nice.
All right. So moving on a little bit from the environment.
Pause. Before we finally move on, shout out that girl from New York who or jumped into the Hudson River.
What?
She should be expecting a third arm soon. While we're talking about radioactiveness. You see the video?
My
You see the
goodness.
video?
No, I didn't.
I'll send it to you and Ryan. There's this girl that jumped into the Hudson River, and which is like, literally, it's that body of water is actually radioactive. So like, she might be like Spider-Man. I don't know.
Is she okay though? Is she alive?
It's only been a couple of days. Who knows? Like, the poison might be just getting to her. She might have. It's beyond me.
My goodness. Well, everyone keep a lookout if you are in New York and watching this podcast. Make sure that she's okay, all right?
Yep.
Let us know if I don't like the.
We got the next Wonder Woman in the making, all right?
Absolutely, she's gonna join the Avengers soon.
All right, so Ryan, you are an aspiring meteorologist, is that right? And I was just wondering, how did you come across meteorology? I mean, I've never looked at it as a career path. I was just wondering, how did you?
Oh yeah, I really can't remember when I started. I was just like had an interest in the weather. And I know meteorology is sort of all about predicting weather and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I couldn't tell you when it started, but I think it'd be a cool job.
Are you gonna be a weatherman, Ryan? Do you want to be one?
Yeah, that's a broadcast meteorologist. That's like one of the branches.
Yeah,
So I guess that's possible, but I don't really know yet specifically.
it's true. It's true.
You got to be the guy behind the screen crunching the numbers.
Yeah.
It's a tough job. You gotta know where you're pointing at while looking at a green screen. I guess on that topic, will you be you're a rising senior, so you'll be applying to colleges soon. First, you said will you be I'm assuming you'll be pursuing like meteorology, maybe like have to do the sky in college. I don't even know if they have that type of major.
Yeah. Yeah, only a lot of not a lot of schools have it, but a lot of the really big schools do. It's like Penn State and a lot of University of like Delaware, Maryland.
You'll be looking at those.
Rutgers. So yeah, a lot of big schools have it. So yeah, I've been looking into a lot of those.
Another interest of yours is airplanes. Is that right? You actually founded a YouTube channel called Ruan Tadua, in fact, and it got over 300 views, which is more than all of our podcasts so far. So everybody, please share this. This one's about to go off. I already know that.
Is that you still making videos, Ryan?
I haven't made a video in a long time. I was honestly sort of bored.
Don't be in the description. If he
Yeah, we can do that.
If he gets enough subscribers, he'll come back. That's what he told me.
Yo, his last upload's a month. He's not gone yet. He's got some great planes on there. Some nice crappie footage.
Making content if you guys want it.
He's just waiting to come back. But yeah, go hit link in the description below. Check it out.
Yeah, hit a like on this video, then go over to his and hit a like on there.
Yeah,
come back to ours and watch
all
the rest
4 of the videos.
Definitely.
So how'd you start with planes? I mean, that's just...
I was just bored over the summer, and I wanted to make like something on YouTube. I had no idea what, so I like filming planes in the sky, putting them on there, and they got a surprising amount of views. So
really blew up. Internet sensation Ryan Tattersford right here.
Say that.
All right. Let's see. What is your okay? So school season is coming soon. We've got about 1 or 2 weeks left. I think our school is doing all right. We have a lot of precautions, but let's get your opinion, Ryan. You want to go back? Don't want to go back? What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's certainly going to be really weird because a big part of school is like the social aspect, and this is kind of taking that completely away with like social distancing and like single way hallways, and they also cover the sports for the fall. I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's certainly not traditional, but I guess for a lot of people, it's better than being on Zoom. Um, and I guess we'll see how it plays out. I don't want to like make any assumptions about it until I kind of witness it. So
It's gonna be so interesting because the
it is.
desks are all gonna be like 6 feet apart, so the teacher's gonna have to like scream.
Yeah,
Just,
It's gonna be wild.
classrooms and like the gym.
it's gonna be like the reverberating gym. Like I don't know how I'm gonna pay attention.
Uh,
I don't think the Weaver has AC either, so
yeah, it
it's
does.
gonna be pretty tough,
I
especially in
heard
the
they have like
beginning.
fans in there.
Yeah,
My mom was saying.
I mean that's also so
But
loud. Like I played in there
It's gonna
for
be free
basketball.
for all. It's gonna be crazy, but
yeah.
definitely.
It's gonna be quite an adventure, as they call it. All right, so Ryan, on the topic of sports, you are a Flyers fan. Flyers have been doing pretty good. They're up 3-1
The one seed.
in the series
Yeah.
right now.
2 shutouts.
Carter Hart, the goalie, 2 shutouts. What do you
Yep.
think? We got a chance at the Stanley Cup this year?
Yeah, I think we do. We were really on fire before the sports got shut down. We were the hottest team in the league, in my opinion. And I think I didn't know if we were going to continue that win streak after the restart, but I think we certainly have. I still don't think we look as good as we did before it, but we're certainly performing in this series versus the Canadians. I think Carter Hart has proved that he's really good, and he's only 22 years old. So I
Future
think he has
looks
a lot of
bright.
potential for the future. So I'm excited to see what we can do.
Yeah, it's a great look, I think. I mean, 2 shutouts is a pretty big deal in the playoffs.
Yeah, Canadians hit 5 posts the last game,
Yeah,
so
that was
can
tough.
thank the post.
A little lucky, but still,
Mhm.
it's part of the game.
Yep.
And in terms of football, an avid Eagles fan over here, a huge supporter of EDP as well. What do you think? You think we're gonna have football this year? Or you think it's gonna get canceled?
I certainly think they're going to try to have it because it's by far the most popular sport in the U.S. It draws a bunch of money in from fantasy to attendance, which will probably be limited if there's any fans at all. But yeah, I definitely think they'll try to have it. I don't think they can do the bubble, sort of what the NHL and NBA is doing, because it's just kind of too many teams, and I mean not too many teams, but I don't know. I feel like it would be harder
I mean, we
for
saw the
football
Seahawks.
to do a bubble like that. But we'll see, I guess.
That'd be like football, NBA, and like hockey and basketball. It's still like contact, but it's like kind of a little bit
Yeah,
better.
football's
But like
a lot of
football,
contact.
you're like on top of each other. You're like breathing on each other. Like, it's so risky.
I mean, it's like wrestling. It's basically on top of each other, tackling each other.
Wrestling, you're like actually on top of each other. Like at least football, there's like a little bit of padding there, but still not much better. I don't know. I feel like I'll give 2 weeks max before someone gets corona, takes
Wow.
out like three players from their team and like 2 players from another team they were playing, and then like the entire the entire league's just gonna fall apart.
Yeah, because like for the MLB, I know if someone tested positive on a team, like they shut down that team's stadium and the team they played previously stadium, and like they cancel their games like for the next week.
Yeah, did you
In football, that won't fly because there's only 16. There's 16 weeks, so it's not really. You can't really cancel a week
Yeah.
Like that's a
Like
big deal.
you get corona,
a lot more
you get
games.
corona. Yeah, if you get like corona during the middle of the season, you're just out. Like the
Yeah.
rest of the season. Like even if it's like the first week.
I mean, with the
Yeah,
whole quarantine
fantasy-
period and everything.
On fantasy, how it says like if they're healthy, injured, and they're probably gonna have a whole other category for like Rona. Like if they have that, then they're not gonna be playing. But
Honestly, day to day, except for now, like Rona day to day.
yeah,
It's tough. Hopefully, it comes back. I'm looking at the Eagles. I mean, although we don't have Marquise Goodwin because he decided to opt out, we still have a chance. Might even be able to win the division. I know CD Lamb is with the Cowboys. Alshon Jeffrey says he looks okay. Maybe he can come back and play. Deshaun Jackson is still a dog so far.
Yeah.
I know.
I think he's the best.
Losing Brandon
Alshon's kind
Brooks.
of old.
Losing Brandon Brooks does hurt, but our O line or our linemen are still
Yeah.
I'd say top 5 both.
Did we resign? That was really
O-line.
old on the line. I forgot. We re-signed someone that was.
Jason Peters? Wait.
Yeah, I think so. I forget.
We got him back.
I think it was Peters.
We got Darius Slay too. I don't know if he's playing yet.
Mason Peters, like he doesn't go away.
Yeah.
He's gonna be here forever. Every time you think he's gone, he comes back.
All right, Ryan. Well, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate you being here on a what is today? On a Tuesday evening.
August 18th.
Yeah, time flies.
Season would be starting today.
My goodness.
That'd be crazy.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm pretty happy that's over.
Yeah.
Although I will miss.
There are definitely perks.
Yeah.
Of sports, but they're also sort of a relief that didn't have to have double sessions this year.
That is true.
You don't know how much you miss sports until like there's actually no sports. But then once sports comes back, you're like back to like take me back. You know what I mean?
All right. Thanks for having me.
Right. Make sure to like and subscribe the video. Go check out Ruan Tattoo, a link in the description below.
Yep.
And see you guys next time. If you want to be on the show, DM at WEST17TH on Instagram or email us at WEST17TH, just normal Gmail.
Or just hit up me or Archit, and then we'll schedule a time for you.
Honestly, we're looking for more people. If you're not from Tower Hill, it's fine. You can still be on the podcast.
You don't even have to know who we are. Just like throw down like 3 things you're into, and then we'll figure something out on the way. So
honestly, also we're challenging Alex Schlerf. He in the comments has destroyed Richard Wang.
Wait, is that Alex? I think that's Will.
That's Will? I was told that was Alex.
Are you sure? I think that's Will.
Whoever commented on the last episode.
You don't want the smoke. Like, come on. Like,
we got to get Richard versus you 1v1 basketball trivia. Make sure to like. If you want it to happen, comment down below, DM us, and we got you. We will get that up and running. It'll be maybe not a live stream, but it'll be pretty interesting, to say the least. And, well, with that, we'll see you guys next time.
See y'all.